Hello everybody, this is Jim with Heinz Feet, and I want to share with you my thoughts on my newest pair of trail shoes, the Brooks Cascadia14. This shoe's been out for a couple of months now, and there's been some pretty big changes to it, and I want to discuss them with you. The Cascadia has been a good shoe for Brooks over the years, and they've sold lots of them, not only to runners, but to hikers. It's a substantial shoe, and it's a solid protective shoe. But one thing about it, in the previous models, is that it was a little on the heavy side, maybe considerably on the heavy side actually, and they have lightened the shoe up this time. They brought it down to 10.7 ounces, so that's a very good improvement, and they seem to have done so. They've taken some strapping and so forth off of the upper. And another major change in the shoe is the outsole. It's been completely revamped. The previous models, here's one here. This is the Cascadia 8. You can see it's much different. When you feel the lugs are just, they're hard. They're solid and they're durable, but when it gets a little wet, they weren't so great. And on rocks, they weren't always so great. And that was another thing that drew some negative comments on the reviews. But this is their trail tack. It is nice, good, separated deep lugs. It's got a more, it actually has more of a tacky feel, a little softer. And I've got a couple of runs in this shoe. I've got a 16 miler and a 14 miler on a variety of terrain, mostly single track, and the shoe's gripping really well. So good job on the outsole and good job on the weight reduction. The upper has an internal saddle that just hugs your midfoot very nicely, very nicely. And when you look at the shape of the shoe, it's nice and form-fitting, and it spreads out right here to give your toes and your forefoot plenty of room to be a forefoot and to use the muscles in your foot and to just be natural. And I really like that. It's a little bit long. To me, it seemed a little long compared to true to size. So I was a little concerned about that when I walked out of the store with them. But I went ahead and took the shoes and I wore them, and it wasn't an issue. As a matter of fact, my extra long second toe gave it a thumbs up. Anyway, my runs in the shoe have been long, hot, humid, sweaty runs, and the shoe has soaked up a good bit of sweat, and it has gotten a little bit squishy. Not real bad. I'm a little spoiled in this area because my other favorite pair of trail running shoes is the Hoka Challenger ATR, and they're among the driest shoe out there. I've worn some shoes that just soak up so much sweat and get so heavy that it's a burden to continue a long run, and you can tell the difference in fatigue. I didn't feel that. When they got wet and squishy and a little bit baloney-like, I wondered if my foot was going to slide down into the end of the shoe on the downhills. Well, that's where the internal saddle really went to work. It had, even though they were wet and even though I was going down some fairly steep inclines, it held my foot very nicely. Now, there's one place on my route that is a steep descent, and not only steep, but a relatively stable downward slope where the shoe is just like this, and the insole wanted to fold up a little bit on me. My first run in them, it started to fold up a little bit, it straightened itself out. The second run, I went ahead and stopped and unfolded the insole from underneath my toes. Nowhere else on the course did that happen, and so I consider that a minor issue that only happened on a very specific combination of slope and terrain. Cushioning. Cushioning is a big deal to me. I'm a big guy and I'm a 4-foot striker. I like a lot of forefoot cushioning. And these shoes have good cushioning. It's about as much cushioning, I think, as you're going to find in anything other than something like the Hoka or the other super cushion brands. Now on my route, it's mostly single track trails, but there's also several miles of gravel maintenance road. And that really puts the test on the cushioning. And I'll have to say that I did not notice a huge difference between these and my Hoka Challenger ATRs. They handled it just fine. Now the big sharp rocks, you're going to feel those a little, but I was pleased with how these handled gravel road. What I was looking for when I chose these shoes is something with ample cushioning and an aggressive outsole, which is something that I was finding very difficult to obtain. My Challengers, they work under most conditions, and the cushioning is awesome and the fit is awesome, but they don't have the super aggressive outsole, and I was looking to run and race on some very technical, sloppy, wet terrain. I tried several pairs. They were either not cushioned enough or didn't fit. Finally, my pre-ordered pair of these came, and they're doing what I needed and what I was looking for. As far as being nimble, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's fine. It's not a high-performance racing shoe built for you to just have ultimate trail feel, but it does well to be a cushioned, solid, protective shoe. It's a trainer, and it takes me through the roots and the rocks nicely. Probably a little better than the Challengers. Well, folks, that's about it. Cascadia14, cushioned, lighter, aggressive sticky outsole. If that's what you're looking for, these are pretty nice. If you like my review, please hit like and subscribe, because I'm going to have more stuff coming. I'm going to do more reviews, do some vlogging, do some racing. Good things coming up. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.